You ever meet that one neighbor who acts like they own the entire block? Clipboard in hand, smug smile on their face, convinced the street belongs to them? Now imagine that same neighbor getting arrested on their own front lawn while shouting about rules and regulations. We just moved into what we thought was our forever home. Quiet cul-de-sac, great schools, big yard. The place was technically outside the HOA zone, a fact backed by legal documents and our real estate agent's word, but someone forgot to update. Judith Simmons, our neighbor and self-declared community enforcer, she knocked the first week we moved in, greeted us with cookies and a warning. Just so you know, she said, your shutters are the wrong shade of beige against HOA standards. I politely told her we weren't under HOA authority. She smiled like I was a toddler who didn't understand the rules and handed me a thick packet titled Harmony and Design Community Guidelines. From that moment, it felt like we were living under surveillance. She filed complaints weekly. Our trash cans were visible. Our welcome mat was offensive. She once rang our doorbell at 6 a.m. to report excessive wind chimes. I kid you not. When she started photographing our backyard from a second-story window, we put up a motion-sensitive gate. That sent her over the edge. One afternoon, the buzzer rang nonstop. I answered through the speaker. Open up, she demanded. I'm conducting a property inspection. I calmly said, you have no authority here. Please leave. She screamed something about legal action and stormed off. But not 30 minutes later, my phone pinged. Security footage showed her pacing outside our gate, phone in hand, pointing at our home like a tour guide from hell. Then she did the unthinkable. She called 911. They're yelling someone might be hurt. They won't open the gate. She told them, here's the twist. My husband Tyler works as a 911 dispatcher, and by sheer coincidence, he was on the desk that day. He couldn't skip protocol, but the second he heard her voice, he flagged the call, marked it as low priority, no nuisance caller. A welfare check was dispatched, but it wasn't urgent. 15 minutes later, 2 officers rolled up. Judith raced to them, waving her arms like she was directing traffic at a hostage scene. I met the officers calmly, showed them ID, explained the history. One officer tapped his earpiece, looked over at Judith. Ma'am, you've made 5 similar calls in the last year, all unfounded. Then the second officer said it, you're being arrested for misuse of emergency services and filing a false report. She gasped like she'd been slapped. I am the HOA president. Not anymore, said one officer. Half the street watched from their porches. One neighbor clapped. Another offered me a cold soda. Turns out Judith had been harassing half the neighborhood for years, but no one ever challenged her. Until now. The HOA voted her out that weekend. The court fined her $6,000. Purer sense sentenced her to probation and 150 hours of community service. Oh, and she's not allowed within 200 feet of our gate. So next time you meet a power-hungry neighbor, just remember, all it takes is one recorded phone call and a dispatcher who knows the whole story. Subscribe for more real-life neighborhood chaos you won't believe is true